to Pantami, don't succumb to blackmail. News Digest, the Muslim rights concern, Muric, has urged the Minister of Communication and Digital Planning, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, to ignore calls by some people that he should resign. There has been call for Pantami to resign over his alleged ties to terrorist sects. Pantami, who described the campaign for him to step down as political motivated, renounced some of the controversial statements he made in the past. But but that did not stop those who asked President Muhammadu Buhari to fire him from continuing with their campaign. In a statement issued by its director, Professor Isaac Akintola, Muric says everyone has their past. A section of the Nigerian press published report of calls being made by some people for the resignation of Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami over the fake news that the US has placed him on its watch list. The second allegation was that the minister had made certain recall announcements in the past. It is a baseless call and it should be ignored. After all, the US itself has denied it. Dr. Pantami has been enjoying unhindered multiple entry to the US for a very long time. Even Facebook, the US-based social media giant, had Pantami's picture on Facebook's digital board for several hours as a mark of honor and respect during one of his numerous visits to the country. The campaign of calumny is being pushed by forces against the federal government's name policy, Boko Haram terrorists, bandits, criminals in general, and political IDPs, internally displaced politicians. No one who has the love of Nigeria at heart will support such a malicious and frivolous allegations. It is a well-known fact that NIN is designed to expose the true identity of criminals like Yahoo boys, bandits, and kidnappers who use the internet and telephones to extort money from foreigners and families of kidnapped victims. They live a life of Mr. Jekyll and Hyde, respect gentlemen in the day, but dangerous criminals at night and on lonely alleys. They have become jittery ever since the NIN policy was introduced by Pantami's Ministry of Communication and Digital Policy. They are among those who stand to benefit from Pantami's resignation. As for political IDPs, their moves is to ensure that no project initiated by the current administration succeeds. The implications of Pantami's resignation at this crucial stage are too gloomy to contemplate. It is a national security issue. The NIM scheme, our hope for dealing a technical blow on terrorism, insurgency, kidnapping, and all sorts of criminality in the country, will suffer suffocating palpitations. There will be a break in monitoring. It is better for us to allow the man who started it to finish it. If any problem arises after we have changed hands in the middle of its implementation, the new boss will easily shift the blame. It will then be a double strategy. Let the beginner be the finisher. In the interest of our great country, Nigeria, we therefore charge Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami to ignore calls for his resignation, and agitation for resignation which is not based on sincerity and truth must be resisted by patriots. This campaign for the minister's resignation is in bad state. It is pregnant with ulterior moves. Pantami must not surrender. He must not succumb to the cheap blackmail. A captain does not abandon ship in stormy waters. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. On the issue of statements credited to Pantami in his younger days, we wonder how the detractors would give preference to pronouncements made by a teenager and those made in the days of students on unionism to those made after maturity and clairvoyance. It is sheer mischief to seek to use that against him. If they have evidence of species delivered 35 years ago when Pantami was a teenager, we have indubitable proof of more recent anti-terrorism species, particularly his public debate with the late Boko Haram leader Mohammed Yusuf, when the minister made miscreant of the arguments of Mohammed Yusuf. But our strongest evidence is the threat made by Shekoa, the current leader of Boko Haram, to kill Pantami. Again, come to think of it, it was not as if the minister commit any official misconduct. Neither is it for abuse of office nor for corrupt enrichment. Some people just want to crucify him for daring to acquire infotech skills ostensible reserved for a certain cycle of elites. They believe that this is a field jealousy reserved and guarded for the Western literati and their Nigerian cronies, not an area for a malam. It is just too petty the way some Nigerians think and behave. This is another big reasons dated for the Seki to sit tight, continue and complete his good work, all to the changing of mean deteriorators. Pantami could have resigned the moment his life was threatened by the Boko Haram leader in February 2021, but he continued to weather the storm because he was determined to finish the NIN scheme which he initiated. He knows that his initiative is crucial to the defeat of insurgency and terrorism. The terrorists also known it and that was the cause belief for the threat on Pantami's life. They wanted him to stop the NIM scheme. A man who put his life on the line for the sake of his country deserves the support of every right-thinking Nigeria. It is therefore ironical that the same man is being asked to resign. This is definitely a gang up by rebellion subjects and enemies of the people. They do not mean well for Nigeria. We call on every Nigerian who still has some modicum of our values and norms, handwork, truthfulness, transparency, and accountability to stand in solidarity with the Honorable Minister. We must not collectively hand over one of the few symbols of our pride to people who believe it's easy money, people who see fraud as a necessity of life, people who believe in making their own wealth by causing hardship, pain, and agony for others. It remains the triumph of evil. We must not allow this to happen. Billahi, Allah forbid. Well, to contribute to this news, I believe that if everything said in this news about Pantami is true, then he must be on the watch, because in the earlier news we have been alleged that he had some common relationship with Akada and Taliban. So that is why the public were calling for his resignation. If such a man has relationship with Al-Qaeda and Taliban, he must have had relationship with the insurgents that are happening in Nigeria. So I will advise here that if what the public has been saying about him is true, he should resign from the office, because he is not longer good to work in that office anymore, because we believe that he will deliver all the Nigeria digital system to the outsiders, and they will deal with Nigeria mercilessly. So I will advise him to resign.